I have prayed all weekend that I could serve you in the way that would be helpful. And I am trying really hard to not tell you what to think, because this is war and people are going to die, and some of our own people will die. And this could go horribly. This could go great. This could cause terror strikes in our own country that would be horrific. And you cannot make your decision based on somebody else's opinion. Okay? You have to do what I did this weekend and stop listening to everybody else and start looking at your principles. I am somebody who does not like these endless wars. I'm absolutely against these endless wars. So how could I be for this one if I am? I am absolutely wanting to get out of the Middle East. So how could you possibly be for this one? I don't want to nation build. So how could you possibly be for this one? I worry about the people in Sudan. So why aren't we in Sudan? All of these things, okay? And we have to make sure that we've answered all of those questions. So I tried to give you the framework on how I was looking at that, just not to convince you, but just so you can think about it yourself, so you can decide. You must be the person that makes the decision. This opinion must be yours, nobody else's, okay? So what I came to in conclusion this weekend was I can celebrate that so far very few Americans have been hurt or killed, and I can also mourn them. I can also acknowledge the stunning capability of the U.S. military. I can feel genuine hope for the Iranian women and the dissidents, the homosexuals that have been thrown off rooftops by this administration, the children, the girls under 9, many multiples. Everybody talks about the kids that the U.S. accidentally bombed in a school, and that is a horrible, horrible, horrible tragedy. But why are you not looking at the many multiples of girls who are married to old men in Iran at the age of 9, 10, or 11, and their lives are completely destroyed? Why don't you care about those girls? Now, that can't be the only reason you say we can go, but it is a real reason. But it can't be the only reason. Otherwise, we'd be in Sudan and every place else. I can feel this hope. And at the same time, I can simultaneously say, I don't have any idea how this ends. But I believe this is just. But is that the end of the story? No, because if you're only making this about Iran, you're only seeing a small picture. The thing that people don't understand with Donald Trump is he is a big vision guy. Look, you don't build what he has built. He's an empire builder, okay? A businessman. He builds empires. You don't have that kind of vision and then look at everything as a one-off. And in 2020, when he lost, he had time to go out to the wilderness, and he reimagined what he was facing and then also what the country is facing. So his vision is enormous. So you can look at Iran and you can say, okay, well, that's causing terror in the Middle East. And, well, that's why we're doing it because of Israel. Is it? Or is he also trying to get us out of the Middle East, and that's why he's making all these peace deals there? And this, if it works, could help bring and stabilize the Middle East even more and make the Middle East rely on themselves. Exactly what he's asking the Germans and the French and the Italians and everybody else to do in NATO. We're not going to be there for you. We cannot afford to do it. Middle East, we cannot afford to do this. We're not going to be there for you. You must police your own neighborhoods without leaving a vacuum. You saw what happened when we just left Afghanistan. That's what vacuums do. So he is trying to get out of these places without leaving a vacuum and building a framework for it to fall into that they can run. Okay? That's just one part of it. The other part is CRINKs. There used to be the Axis and Allies powers, and the Axis powers were Germany and Japan and Italy and all those that fought for, the Axis powers of Hitler, okay? That Axis is now called CRINK, and CRINK, C, China, R, Russia, I, Iran, and NK, North Korea. CRINK, okay? And that is this authoritarian group of states and scholars and strategists and everything else that are growing this anti-Western coordination, and they have shared interests. They're not working all in lockstep, but they work together. It's not a formal alliance like NATO or the Warsaw Pact, but it is shorthand to understand who is on the opposing side of the West, okay? Now, why is this relevant? Because as we look to Iran in this conflict, what is he doing? Well, by taking out Iran, China loses all of that oil that they must have. They're also sending tech to Iran, which will help Iran even slave more people. But also they are sending supersonic missile technology, and they're working with Iran on that, okay? You've got to stop that. So you've hurt Iran with its financial, with its energy, with its oil. Russia, they need the Russian oil for money. They sell their oil. They also work with Iran to get all of that oil to China. But more importantly, with Russia, they build all of Russia's drones. So when you look at the Russian drones, knowing that they're all coming from Iran, this takes that out, which helps then the war in Ukraine. Dugin just said, think of this. Dugin just said, Alexander Dugin, he was called Putin's brain for a while. He just said that if Iran falls, Russia falls as well. Now, in a way, I hope that's not true because I don't want more destabilization, but I do want the teeth pulled out of that tiger. Okay? So by hurting Iran, you are also trying to solve that. You don't think he's going to have more leverage? You know that Putin called Trump this weekend and said, hey, let's sit back down at the table and talk about Ukraine. Okay? It's already starting to happen. This guy is like a nuclear chain reaction. He does one thing and all of these other things happen because of that. All these dominoes start to fall. And if you don't, you can disagree with that, but not that that is happening. You can disagree with, I don't think that's the right thing to do, or I don't think it's going to work out, whatever. But you cannot deny that all of these things are connected, or you're not worth talking to because you're not thinking deeply enough. Okay. Just last week, we found out that India was switching. It's always played this middle ground, hey, I'm friends with Russia. Oh, Russia, I'm friends with the United States. And they've played us back and forth for a long time. Trump just got them to come into our camp. Now, why is that important? Because you've been hearing the dollar is going to fall, and China and Russia and the BRICS nations are trying to create their own currency to collapse the American dollar. Have it stop being the world's reserve currency. Who is the one that started BRICS? It's the I in BRICS, India. They're now on our side. Plus, you look at Venezuela. What did he do in Venezuela? What did he just say about Cuba? It looks like Cuba is in so much trouble, they may just say, hey, can we make a deal with the United States? That takes Cuba and Venezuela out of the China and the Russia camp. Are you beginning to see how this is all connected? Plus, all of the Iranian terrorist proxies are in Venezuela and Cuba and also on our shores because they're being sent and trained in places like Venezuela. So once you have all of this, then you begin to see the whole picture. And you can come to the conclusion, being anti-war does not mean being anti-strength. We have to be strong. Being pro-peace does not mean tolerating endless destabilization. Sometimes the most peaceful leader is the one most willing to use force decisively, quickly, force that does not become perpetual, force, again, that takes the air out of people who are your enemies, takes the air out of their lungs, and they go, oh my gosh, don't ever do that again. Okay? The test is going to be, does this shorten conflict or seed the next generation of conflict? And only history can, no pundit, no, not me, nobody else can answer that. They all have their opinions. You don't know what this is going to cause. And I said to the TV all weekend long, neither do you, Jack. Neither do you. Right now, our job is to think clearly enough that when history does have the answer, we recognize why. So after a whole weekend of prayer and study and thought, I came to 4 conclusions, and here they are. Most importantly, I trust God. I know one way or another it's going to work out the way He deems it. That does not mean I take my hands off the steering wheel in my own life or in our country. It means I trust Him. I remember the 2020 election. If that hadn't have happened, we wouldn't have the president we have today. Like it or not, he's a different man. 2, we have to search these things out. We have to be led by the Spirit. We have to use our own brain because it's required. We have to soul search, but soul search without politics. Is this moral and just? Is this in our national interest? Is this America first? What does that even mean? And for more reasons than I outlined here, I wrestled with this and I came up with, yes, this is America first. Yes, this is a just war. That's my conclusion. Your conclusion may be different, and do not take my opinion as gospel. 3rd thing, this is not Donald Trump of 2016. This president has made bold moves, beginning with the moving of the embassy to Jerusalem, which, remember, would set the world on fire. Probably start World War III. That's what they said. Killing of ISIS in less than 4 weeks. Best mind said couldn't be done in less than 2 years. Then the killing of Soleimani, whatever his name is. What's his name? Soleimani. It was going to start World War III. Again, didn't. Then strike on the nuke plants in Iran. Start World War III. It didn't. Venezuela, can't be done. Look at the results now. This president has proven to me that he understands peace through strength, and the best way to defend enemies is with overwhelming force. He has proven to me that he does not like war, but he will act when he believes it's in the nation's best interest. For me, he has earned my respect enough to give him the benefit of the doubt, not a blank check to nation build, but instead to stop the global threat once and for all, give the people of Iran a chance to rule themselves, take on China and Russia and everything else, and give our country a chance for a future. And 4, while all of this I believe is true today, it still may end up in a way that is not to our liking. Which brings me back to point number 1. I believe in God, and all of it is going to end the way it is supposed to end. Just do your part.